Good. Okay, guys. Today I will be interviewing an author. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for doing the interview with me today. Can you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Well, I've got a very long and difficult name, so I'll say it slowly. It's Dorothea Neamonitos. It's one of those very long Greek surnames. Um, uh, what can I say? I'm an aspiring author. I've written a novel, and I'm undergoing a promotion to get it out there because obviously nobody's ever heard of me. Um, Apart from being a new author, I'm married, I have children, I teach English, and I've been living in Greece for 20 years, coming from a British background, but also a Greek one.
Eh,
That's it.
really? Wow. You come from a British background? How come? Like, how does that happen?
Well, it all happened decades ago. My grandfather fell in love with an English woman, and they lived in England and they had their children, and one of those children was my father. And and my mother's Greeks, and they kind of met, and so there's a nice mix of different kind of backgrounds and cultures and uh, languages and anything you can find.
Okay, thank you so much for that. You're also an English teacher. How did
Yeah.
you get into becoming a English teacher? Because I would tell I used to hate English. I'm in. I was born in America. The reason what happened was my grandmother boyfriend, right? He told me, "Oh, this kid is better than you in English," so I hate it. But how did you get into teaching English?
Um, well, I'm very lucky to have English as my native language, which is an international language. And countries like Greece um, have this need to know English as a second language. And I started teaching because I was actually offered by this lady who had a school. She was the headmistress, and she found out that my native language was English, and she was practically begging me to teach for her. And I got the offer, and ever since then, um, I haven't stopped because English is so much in demand, and that I can't really stop because people are always phoning me and asking me to tutor them. And, I also work at a school. So that's how come I came to learn English, but obviously not, teach English, but obviously um, I didn't go to university and study teaching. So I wanted to be a better teacher myself, and I attended many courses and many seminars in order for me to provide the best kind of way to teach children of every age, really. And so far, it's been very rewarding. I've had parents come up to me and say, really lovely things about teaching their children. And even recently, I remember very typically, which is very touching actually, one of the headmistresses that I work for, she was having this little kind of dispute with one of the mothers because mothers are really picky. And the woman was telling her that I would be taking over the class from now on. And this mother was, no, no, we want you. And then she said to this mother in front of me on the phone, she said, yes, but Miss Dorothea is better than me. And I was like, my jaw dropped. I was dumbfounded. And it's the first time someone has said something so sweet about that, especially a colleague who we're always trying to, you know, one up one another. You know, we're always trying to be better than someone else. And this was so humbling, and this was so, it was amazing. I don't know how to describe it. I've never felt anything like that before. And I think that was the highlight of my career so far. Anyway, yeah, that's the story.
Thank you so much for telling the story of how you became, learning English, or you're developing yourself, right? You're basically understanding was it the supply and demand, right? And what's yeah, what's interesting is that you never stop learning, right? So many of the American people, when they graduate, when kids graduate from high school or college, they stop learning. And I congratulate you for learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know, I mean, this whole journey from teaching and keeping up with my native language, because it's helped. I mean, I don't have a lot of English people speaking around me, so you kind of lose the language. And teaching has kept that up. But also this whole journey of me writing and listening. I think I've listened in the past 10 years. I think I've read audiobook and actual book, about 500 books. Yeah. I love books. And this whole journey has been this new method of learning my language, which I'd kind of forgotten, I have to admit, because I was giving birth to kids, and you kind of let go of everything else, of your personal life. And it got me back on track. And I started to, delve deeper into the English language, things and words and phrases and expressions that I had kind of forgotten. I hate to admit, but it got me kind of back up onto the bar which I had left it at when I had left England. Even my accent kind of drifted away. I mean, I would, ring up a friend from London and she'd say, Dorothea, what's happened to your accent? And I'm like, what's happened to my accent? And, I mean, even that was, it happens. What can you do? But writing this book has been amazing, has made me, to myself, made me think not to stop doing and continuing, teaching myself, striving for something better, looking deeper into seeking the correct way and phrase, even the word and how you would express it, everything. It's just a non-stop, beautiful learning cycle, I think.
That's what's powerful. What I noticed that you read 500 books, but what type of books were you reading? That's what I'm curious.
What type of book?
Yeah.
It's actually, it's inspired by true events. I wouldn't say it was based on a whole event of my life, but a part of it is, and I had just embellished it from there. So basically it's this story about a girl who was very insecure and was bullied viciously, as I was bullied when I was younger at school. She's trying to find herself. It's kind of a new adult, young adult adventure. And I've put in a crime mystery just to make it even more interesting, to keep the readers hanging on to what's going to happen, because I've kind of left loads of cliffhangers in each chapter, so you can carry on reading to know what's going to happen next. And there's even courtroom drama inside. There's kind of detective work. I've made the heroine do lots of things that some of them are very questionable legally. And basically it's a finding yourself kind of novel. It's that feel good kind of the kid evolving and coming of age and discovering who they really are, basically.
It's almost like a self-help type of thing, right?
It's like a soap opera.
Self-help, like self-help book.
That's
but
it. Yeah.
It's a novel.
Even though she's really, really, you know, she doesn't feel she has any hope for anything. You know, I've made it quite emotional, I can say. Like she's berating herself. She's really kicking herself for what she did, because she did something really bad to a person. So she's trying to discover who she is and help someone who she was to blame for you know, derailing his life, basically. It's a big thing.
Thank you so much for like writing the story.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know, when I was a kid, I was also bullied, right? But it's great that you are writing these novels. How, you know, for me, I interview many vastly large self-help people. But thank you so much for being the second novel, because I want to not only interview self-help but novel, because I think that uh, for you, you're creative, right? And how did you how did you create your story? Because it's a novel, and how did you like piece it all together? How do you see?
Well, like I said, I started with something that occurred to me. It's based on something that happened, and it was a kind of like an instantaneous train of thought. I thought of this instance at a totally irrelevant, you know, point. I was like walking down the street, for goodness sake, and it was a sunny day, and I was looking at my kids, and I thought to myself, how friendly they are with one another. This is my actual train of thought, and this happened within like seconds. I saw my kids, they were saying a joke and they were laughing, and I said to myself, I wish I had friends like that when I was their age. And then suddenly it sparked all this, you know, this memory that I had on how things were for me, and then everything kind of connected, and the book came. I thought of it just then, you know. I thought, what if I wrote about this, and I put the character here, and then this will happen, and then that, and then that, and you know, it came out kind of at that instance. And at that point, I just ran home and I wrote the first 6 chapters on my tiny mobile phone. And I was like squinting, you know, I was like, oh my God, this. And of course, later I embellished it. I put in more and more and more. In fact, the novel, when I thought I'd finished it the first time, was about 120,000 words. And then, for some reason, I wasn't satisfied with that amount, and it went up to 155,000. It became an epic novel. I just loved it. I was just putting things in and everything, and words and feelings and emotions. And that's how it happened, basically, by one train of thought. And I just ran and wrote it. I'd been working on something else. I'd been working on a different novel, but it wasn't quite like how I'd hoped it would be. And then that novel came to me, that idea, and that just took over. And the other novel is still waiting.
That's so powerful what you say. Like you fell in love with creating this novel.
Yeah.
And that's so very interesting. When you say you were typing on your mobile phone, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Really? That's really unique. But also, what are you convey? What are you trying to convey to the reader, or what you're hoping the reader will get out of the book for
I'm trying to convey real life, basically, because we've all done something wrong in our lives. Nobody's perfect. And I'm sure we all regret things that we've done. And it's kind of like this message of hope where you can, if you really try and you're really remorseful and you really regret it and it really hurts you inside and you need to get it out and you need to apologize, that's the message, you know. That's what the book says as well. Do you have what it takes to forgive? So this journey of Eleonora's, that's the protagonist's name, you'll be surprised because it's not just what she's going through. And you realize this when you read towards the end, because she may think that she is the baddie, but it's not just that. I won't spoil it for anyone who wants to read it, because in this life, it's give and take. It's not just her doing this. It's why she was made to do this. And what were the repercussions and what were the cycle that went around that came back to her in order for her to act this way. It's very deep, actually. At one point, I was actually crying myself when I was writing it. So,
wow.
Yeah. That's what I want to convey. You know, it's this very, and it touches on religion and spirituality, and a bit of theology, like what if, and even the book, If It Weren't For You, is always this kind of question of our destiny, if you believe in that, our fate, if you believe in that, and what we do in our lives and where it takes us. Yeah.
When it comes to you saying cause and effect, it sounds like when you're saying cause and effect.
Definitely.
You said that what she did, it came back, right? That's very interesting where you put, how I said, why spirituality and theosophy, right? I never knew that you know these type of things. Are you like into these, like spirituality or faith or?
Everything is connected. Whatever you believe in, you always know that something is there more than just us. You know that we're not just here just to live and die. We're here for something more. even if you're an atheist, I don't know, I think even atheists, I think they feel it because they wouldn't be so against it, you know? It's kind of like an oxymoron. Anyway, there's something out there. People call it God. They can call it something else, I don't know. And everyone has been born into a family which has taught them some things, I suppose. They've made connections with something within. And, well, you know, I like to put the element of what very knowledgeable and philosophical teachings say. Because like me, I mean, I was brought up in a family that taught these values, and it's kind of a part of me, and I like to, you know, express that, because as each and every one of us is individual, and I mean, I've read loads of books, and everyone slots in their idea of something non-secular. They slot in something which gives the feeling that we do want to go somewhere else, and we do like to believe that we will be helped by God or whomever.
You keep referring books. What type of books did you read, like, to give you that?
Everything. Everything I've read, you name it, you know, even, look, I'm not into fantasy, let's say, but I've read amazing fantasy books. I mean, if they're written really well, I don't care if they're fantasy at all. I've read, you name it, the whole spectrum, actually. I love my crime thriller. It's my number one. I love the crime thrillers. I love the classics, the romance novels. Great authors. Theodore Dostoevsky is like, I mean, in fact, part of the feeling that my book has is related to Crime and Punishment. I don't know if you've read Crime and Punishment, but the protagonist kills someone, and he has such a regret and such a remorse. And he's like, so, you know, it's just conveyed so deeply. And this is kind of like how Eleonora feels. So, books with depth. I love books with depth. Captivating books, well-written books, obviously. I've read young adult as well. Some books I find really good, really funny. I think that's about it. I'm not really into horror, even though I've read horror. A good adventure story, things like that.
How about Twilight or any, like, Harry Potter or any other? What was it? Yeah, Twilight or Harry Potter. No.
I can't hear you.
Twilight or Harry Potter.
Twilight.
Hi.
Is that what you said? Yeah, I've read Twilight. That's your fantasy and young adult together. So, yeah, I was into Twilight. Wow. It seems like ages ago. Yeah, I like Twilight. I did. You see, that was well written.
I see. Okay.
Even though there were vampires and werewolves, okay, all right, but you know, yeah, cool.
No. How does it feel to be an author? Like, what? How does it feel?
How does it feel to be?
Yeah, how does it feel to be an author?
Oh. It's good. It's it's this sense, because I'm still teaching as well. I'm still a teacher. I'm like a mom. I'm a teacher. I'm a wife. I'm so many things. Being an author is like a new chapter in my life. I know that sounds really corny, but it's a new experience. It's wonderful to be recognized as an author when you give in, when you submit your book to a site or to an agent and the site approves of you being an author. It's like, am I? Wow, thank you. I humbly accept, you know what I mean? It's lovely. It's just lovely. This whole journey, this whole book, just having it out there, just looking at it and reading it, the papers. And sometimes I don't quite believe that I did that. And it's very nice. I feel very blessed.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And did you have any fear of either in your life, or did you have any fear of writing the book, or how did you overcome it? Because
I had a lot of fear, actually. That's a very good question. I still have fear. This road hasn't been smooth. The journey has taken me 2 years. I mean, sometimes I still shake when I read a review or, it's because you're giving your soul to all these people. You're confiding in them, you're telling them stuff that's so deep in your brain. You don't know what the reactions are going to be. You don't know anything. I'm just sitting here and I kind of worry and I think, what are people going to say? And I can't describe it. There is a fear because, of course, it's my first book and whatever I'm doing, it's for the first time. And it's kind of fear of the unknown, But there are so many supportive people out there. And everyone who's read the book, there aren't a lot of people who've read the book because, unfortunately, it's in a language, and I live in a country where not a lot of people read English. But the people who have started to read it, and they ring me up and they give me comments, they say things, they interact, and they're so supportive. And it's so encouraging. And as soon as someone says to me, I love the way you wrote that, the fear just evaporates. So.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Well, if you would ever like me to do a review for you, I will do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How, for anyone who's want to be a writer or author, what is your writing process is and how you get it published?
Difficult. It's very difficult. Every incredible author was rejected in the beginning. It's just one of those things, For now, I'm self-publishing. It's difficult. I do hope that I will be able to publish traditionally. Publishing houses now also support self-publishing authors. So that might be a nice route to take. It's, I don't know. I mean, for now, this is what I'm doing. It's a self-published book. It needs lots of support. And people have shown me their support in the last couple of days with our promotion. It's been amazing. I've even had comments from people who don't even know me, who think it's really lovely. It's that people have been supporting that. So for now, this is the publishing we're doing, and who knows later on.
Thank you so much for that. That's so awesome. I encourage you to create more. Actually, the way that you tell the story is very inspiring, motivating. That's awesome. Um, it seems like you love your family. How you define your winning for you? Is it also for your family? How you define winning for you?
Yeah, yeah. For my family, in fact, the inscription in the beginning of the book says, "For my family." My family have been great. You wouldn't believe how much time a day I put into this book. I mean, I'd be writing, typing, and the time, it would just, oh my God, I've got to do this now. Oh my God, I've got to pick up the kids, literally. And they see me, the kids, as I was writing the book. You know what? They never said one word to discourage me. Never. They never said, "Stop that, Mum, come and help me." They never said. They have been amazing. In fact, they'd make me cups of tea and they'd say things like, "How's it going? So what's the story about now? What have you put in?" Even my husband, he felt sorry for me because we have this horrible desktop in the lounge, and my back was aching as I was typing, and he bought me a laptop for our anniversary so I could relax with my pillow on the bed and just, type away. They've been incredibly supportive. They love it. I mean, my eldest daughter is 20. My second daughter is 19. My third daughter is 18. My fourth daughter is 14. And my son is 6. And all of them, well, whoever have, they have a couple of, social media accounts. They've been, forwarding the book to their friends, this, that, and the other. They love it. They're smiling. They just love it. We've it's all about the book now,
That's very beautiful. Thank you so much for that. What does success look like to you?
Pardon?
What does success look like to you?
What does success look like to me? You know what? That's a very difficult question. I haven't thought about that because when I was writing the book, and even now, to me, success is just being out there, being acknowledged, being liked by other authors and readers, and giving people a smile when they finished reading the book. And it's just this lovely journey. I mean, success, if we're talking about financial success, my goodness, anything to help us, to feed the kids, give them the basic necessities, if we're talking about financial. If we're talking about fame, okay, I'm not a very, I'm not an extrovert very much, but...
So you're an introvert?
Well, not that either. I'm just not in everyone's face, you know. I'm just really kind of, if I'm there, if they need me, I'm there, you know. I don't like force anything on anyone. And I haven't really thought about fame, actually. It's such a far thought for now,
Well,
you know?
the reason why I asked that because I have interviewed many amazing people, and you know, in America, you know, success is like all the material things, but like when it comes to success, whatever it means to them, you know, it doesn't have to be all that. But what I found out, their success is either their happiness for their family, like yourself. I think that your family means a lot to you. I can tell, and you know, they love what they do for their passion. You know,
Yeah.
what do you love to? What is your passion in life, and what you love to do?
My passion is to write. I don't think I have anything else right now. I'm always there for the kids. I'm a mother who fights for her kids. You know, after having 5 children, you don't take shit from anyone anymore, you know? It's kind of, if whatever is good for them, then I'm there, you know? I'm right behind them. I don't know, but passion, I'm deeply in love with writing. I am. If we're talking about hobbies, yes, that's what it is.
Okay, thank you. Where can we find you online? Do you have any social medias?
Yes, I have all the necessary social media, I think. I've got Facebook, which you'll find if you type in my name, my full name. I also have Twitter at Dorothea Author. I created an Instagram account, which is also Dorothea_author. And I think that's it, really. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where you can find me online, yes.
No, thank you so much for that. Okay, guys, that's pretty much it for today. Subscribe to my channel, like my video, and
Thank you so much.